Shlema. Sorry.
Refuah Shlema for?
In honor of Menachem Mendel ben Elchanan, Zichron Levacha.
Nishmas Menachem Mendel ben Elchanan.
Devorah Fega bat Shmuel.
Devorah Fega bat Shmuel.
And one more. Yosef. Akiba. Ben Yocheved.
Ben Yocheved.
Gambaruna bat Esther.
Gambaruna
bat
Esther.
Harav Abraham ben Kadum Palti.
Okay, so we're now
Just so remind everyone, 5:56 starts to fast. So drink up.
Yeah. There's one little line that we didn't do yesterday on the Mishmarot. Rav Ashi Amar Mishmarot Palgan Nami Mishmarot Karola. Right before the two dots on Gimel Amud Bet. Second wide line on Gimel Amud Bet. We're going to move a little quicker today because we're a little bit behind. Rav Ashi Amar Mishmarot Palgan Nami Mishmarot Karolahu. Rav Ashi's answer yesterday's question was that David HaMelech said he woke up Mechatzot HaLayla, which is only 1.5 Mishmarot before the morning. So how did he say Kidmu Einai Ashmurot? Today's answer from Rav Ashi really is the end of the yesterday's sugya, is that 1.5 is also considered 2. He's not bothered by the whole question because it's 2 of them, which means within the second one that I woke up early. Okay, now we're up to the 2 dots on the second wide line of Gimel Amud Bet. Ve'amar Rabbi Zrika, Amar Rabbi Yami, Amar Rabbi Hoshua ben Levi, Ein omrim b'fnei hamet ela dvarav shel met. We may not say in front of a met only words that have to do with the deceased. What does that mean? So, Amar Rabbi Abba bar Kahana lo amram ela b'divrei Torah. He explains these words to mean words of Torah. Words of Torah, aval mili de alma let lama. Words of Torah you may not say in front of the deceased because there's a pasuk that says lo'eg larosh. You may not tease the poor. You may not make fun of the poor, and that's the minhag and halacha that we don't wear tzitzit out in the Beit HaKvarot. Same halacha here. We don't speak words of Torah in front of the met. That's the first explanation of those words. The ikadam, the others say, Amar Rabbi Abba bar Kahana lo amram ela afilu b'divrei Torah. The kol shekein mili da alma. Others say that it means even words of Torah. For sure, no other words you may not say, which means, according to the first reasoning, the only thing you can't speak in front of the met are words of Torah, because that teases the met. He cannot speak the words of Torah, and you are speaking the words of Torah. But according to the second pshat, it means even words of Torah. Regular words, just talking, is a tremendous bizayon, and that people are just talking right in front of him instead of dealing with matters of the met. And even if you want to learn Torah, which is a mitzvah, you still can't. That was the chidush in the second explanation. According to the first explanation, you could speak about whatever you want in front of the met as long as it's not Torah. According to the second explanation, you can't speak anything in front of the met because you have to take care of the met and not take care of any other matters. And even if it's Torah and a mitzvah, you may not do it. Okay, now the Gemara says as follows. So the pasuk said that David HaMelech woke up when? Middle of the night, Chatzot. So the Gemara asks, David David woke up in the middle of the night. He already woke up at nighttime, which means at the beginning of the night he woke up, not in the middle of the night. Dichtiv kidamti v'neshef v'ashavea. Neshef means evening. Kidamti means early. Baneshef, early at the evening. Ashaveh, I've been praying to you. I got up early at the beginning of the night. So that sounds like right when the night came, David HaMelech woke up to start his avodah. So that seems to contradict the pasuk that said he got up at Chatzot. So the Gemara says, and how do I know that the word Kidamti Vaneshef means the beginning of the night? Because the Gemara brings another pasuk from Mishlei, which says, B'neshef be'erev yom bi'ishon layla va'afela. B'neshef, at Neshef time, says the pasuk. It's like a self-explained pasuk. Be'erev yom, in the erev. Bi'ishon layla, to the blackness of the night va'afela. So you see that the word Neshef means the beginning of the night. David HaMelech is saying, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I love you so much. I wake up at the beginning of the night to pray to you. So that seems to contradict the pasuk that says that he woke up in the middle of the night. Amar Rav Oshia, Amar Rabbi Yacha, Hachika Amar. Me'olam lo avar lahatzot laila b'sheina. What David HaMelech was saying was, I get up normally, many times I get up at the beginning of the night. But even the times that I'm sleeping at the early parts of the night, I never passed Chatzot Laila through sleep. As it says, Chatzot Laila Akum. And it says, Kidamti Vaneshef. Rabbi Zeira Amar al Chatzot Laila Haya Mitnanem Kisus. Rabbi Zeira says the following is the explanation of the two contradictory, seemingly contradictory psukim. The first part of the night, he would doze off like a horse. The horse dozes, wakes up, dozes, wakes up. And he would learn Torah. As it says, Kidamti Vanesha. Mikan ve'elach haya mitgaber ka'ari. But from Chatzot and on, he would wake up like a lion and just stay up the entire time. So, and we know, the question is, what does that mean? To sleep like a horse is a machloket haposkim. If it's a half hour, 3.5 minutes at a time, whatever it is, it's a very short time. And David HaMelech said the first part of the night I slept on and off, and I was learning Torah. By the time Chatzot came, I was up ready to go like a lion. Rashi Amar, Ad Chatzot Laila haya osek b'divrei Torah mikam ve'elech b'shirot v'tishbachot. Rashi says it was two different topics. The first half of the night, he was up already. But he was learning Torah. From Chatzot and on, he sang Shirot v'Tishbachot, which is what we know as Tehillim. Okay. And that's the explanation of these two psukim. So, the Gemara says, V'neshef orta. So you're translating the word neshef to mean night. He got up early at night, says the Gemara. V'neshef ortahu. HaNeshef tzafrahu. Neshef is tzafra, morning, not night. How do we know that? Because it says, D'chtiv vayakem David mehan neshef ve'ad ha'erev. David hit the enemy, right, from neshef until evening, till erev. What would if I tell you the word neshef? You don't know what it means. I tell you, someone fought a war from neshef till erev, till night. You would think it means morning, from morning till night. So this pasuk seems to indicate that the word neshef means morning. Machrata, my love, mitzafa ve'adlelia. Doesn't that mean from morning till night? So the Gemara answered, no. Neshef means night. And when it says that he fought from neshef to erev, it meant from night to night. From last night to the following night. Me'urta ve'ad urta. Says the Gemara, if you're really referring to the same time period, why would you refer to it in the pasuk with two different words? You would say from night to night, or from evening to evening. Let's say there are two words in English too, right? Why would you say from night to evening? So therefore the Gemara says, Ela amaravat trei nishpe havu. There are actually two times that are called nishpe, neshef. Because the word neshef really means something else. And one is nashaf le'elia ve'atei yimama. It means to slip out, to jump through, to slip. When the night slips away, the morning comes. And that's what it means when it says, Mehaneshef ad ha'erev. From morning to night, because from when it slipped away, from when the night slipped away, which means morning, ad ha'erev, until the night. And then the other time of neshef is nashaf yimama ve'atei le'elia. When the day slips away, trying to hold on to some hours of the day, and it's gone. It slips away. When it slips away, what happens? Night comes. And that's the pasuk of Kidamti Vaneshef Va'ashaveh. I got up early when the day slipped away and the night began, and I began to praise you, Hashem. Okay? So now the word Neshef really can refer to day or night, since Neshef really means the time that the past time has just slipped away. Okay. Now, I understand, I recognize that I'm going a little quick now, but since these Gemarot are Agadata and they're very large dapim and we're a drop behind, just forgive me that I'm moving quickly. Obviously, if this would be a more halachic or harder cheshbonot, I would make sure to say it slower. So just bear with me, hold on tight. The David, mi haviyada palga delele emat. So the Gemara says that he woke up exactly at Chatzot. The Gemara brought that pasuk, Chatzot, Laila Akum. Right? I wake up at Chatzot. How did he know when Chatzot is? Hashta Moshe Rabbeinu lahaviyada. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't even know. Dichtiv kachatzot alayla ani yotze betoch Mitzrayim. As it says, kachatzot alayla ani yotze betoch Mitzrayim. Kachatzot. It doesn't say at Chatzot. It says like Chatzot. About Chatzot time, about midnight, I will leave Mitzrayim. But he couldn't say exactly when Chatzot was because he didn't know. My kachatzot. Ile meda'amalei kutsha berichu kachatzot. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu use that language? Kachatzot. If you say it's because Hashem told him that lashon, mi'ika sveka kamishmaya. It doesn't make sense. Hashem would say, about Chatzot, I'm going to bring Makat Bechorot. Is there any sveka kamishmaya? Is there any doubt in heaven about when exactly Chatzot is? Ela da'amalei b'Chatzot. So, of course, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, B'Chatzot. Ba means at Chatzot, exactly. Ve'ata'ihu, but he came along. Ve'amar kachatzot. Alma misapkele. The reason why he said kachatzot is because he had a safek. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't even know when it was exactly. David havayada. Right? And how can you say David knows? Moshe Rabbeinu is worried that Paro will say, prove it to me. So therefore, how does he protect himself? He says, at about Chatzot, it will happen. Because Moshe Rabbeinu won't be able to prove it. That means he doesn't know. David HaMelech knows, Chatzot Laila Akum, I wake up every morning, every night. So the Gemara answers, David Siman Havle. Says the Gemara, David had a special sign which showed him clearly that it was Chatzot. But he also didn't know. But something was helping him. It was like a clock there. What was this clock? They didn't have clocks. There was a kinor. People say it means a harp. I'm not sure exactly what it is. That was hanging above the bed of David HaMelech. When Chatzot came, the northerly wind came and would blow and it would play by itself. That would wake him up. Miyad, immediately, Haya Omed ve'osek b'Torah. He would stand up and, like a lion, we said before, ve'osek b'Torah she'ala Amud HaShachar, until Amud HaShachar would come, till dawn would come. Rashi explains that every day there are 4 winds that blow from different directions. The first 6 hours of the day, the easterly wind blows. The next 6 hours of the day, it's a southerly wind. Then the western wind comes, and from Hatzot till morning, it's the northerly wind that comes. Therefore, when the northerly wind came, he had the harp positioned in a way that, I guess, facing the north, by the south, that it would blow, the northerly wind would blow it, and it would play. Miyad hayom afay. Kivan she'ala amud hashachar. Once dawn arrived, nichdus tu chachmei Yisrael etzlo. The wise sages of Israel would enter. Amrullah, they would tell him, Adonai HaMelech, Amcha Yisrael tzichin parnasah. They would say, what should we do? The Jews need parnasah. Amar lahem, lechu v'hit parnesu ze mizeh. Go do commerce, business with each other. And either everybody help each other or let the rich help the poor. Amru lo en hakometz masbia et ha'ariv en habor mitmaleh mechuyato. So they said, kometz means the handful. The handful does not satiate the lion. Klal Yisrael needs much more than that. The en habor mitmaleh mechuyato. And if you're trying to get money from the Jews, to fill up the Jews, that would be compared to someone who digs. He's trying to take some money out of one pocket. So he digs a pit. And after he digs the pit, he takes all the earth that he just dug, and he decides, now, you know what? I want to cover the pit now. I want to fill the pit up. And he tries to cover the pit. The pit will not fill from its own earth. So we need some sort of outside source. We can't really feed ourselves through ourselves. That's what they told him. Amar lahem, so David HaMelech said, L'chu v'shtu yedechem bagdud. So then, let us fight our enemies. And that way, the booty will support Klal Yisrael. Biyad, they were, meaning to say they were Amalekim. He was talking about the Amalekim, which always had like guerrilla warfare with the Jews. David HaMelech was saying, let's go and fight them, and we'll take all their money, and we'll have what to support Klal Yisrael. Miyad yoatzim ba'achitofel. So when they got Reshut to fight this war, they would take counsel with Achitofel about all the strategies of war. And after he gave them eitzot, if to fight, how to fight, they would then ask the Sanhedrin, so that the Sanhedrin could pray for them. And then they would ask the great Urim v'Tumim, that was the names of Hashem, that lied inside the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol. And everybody knows that after you would ask him such important questions, the lights, different parts of the Hoshen would light up to tell you the answer. So they did these three things: the advisor, Achitofel, the Sanhedrin, and the Urim v'Tumim. Amar Rabbi Yosef, my kra. Rabbi Yosef says, where do we find that in the pasuk? The pasuk says, after Achitofel, after going to Achitofel, this is the way that Rabbi Yosef is being doresh the pasuk. Then they would go to Benayahu ben Yehoyada, who, by the way, represents the Sanhedrin because he was the head of the Sanhedrin. The Eviatar, and Eviatar was the Kohen Gadol. That's the Urim v'Tumim. Bistar Tzava, the Melech Yoav. So Achitofel is the Yoetz. He is the advisor. V'chen hu omer, like it says, V'atzat Achitofel sheyatz v'yamim ahem. The advice of Achitofel of those days, Kasher yishal ish b'dvar ha'elokim. The next person they would go to was Benayahu ben Yehoyada, the Sanhedrin. He was the head of the Sanhedrin. Ve'Eviatar elu Urim v'Tumim. Eviatar was the Kohen Gadol who wore the Urim v'Tumim. V'chen hu omer, u'Benayahu ben Yehoyada ala kreti ala pleti. And we also find the pasuk that they went to the Sanhedrin, Rabotai, before they went to the Urim v'Tumim. Where does it say that? It says that Benayahu ben Yehoyada al hakreti al hapleti was above the kreti and above the pleti, meaning he came before. Benayahu ben Yehoyada was the head of the Sanhedrin. He came before the kreti and before the pleti. Who is kreti and pleti? What does that mean? That means the Urim V'Tumim. V'lama nikra shemam kreitu pleti. So why would I call the Urim V'Tumim, the name of Hashem, inside the Choshen Mishpat, the Kreiti and Pleti? The answer is, says Gemara, Kreiti shekotim divreihem. Because they cut their words. They're very concise and to the point. They don't speak extra words. They just answer you to the point. Upleti shemuflaim b'divreihem. That they are wondrous in their words. It's a wonder. It's an open miracle. You walk over to the Urim V'Tumim, you ask him a question, HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers you on the spot with the letters light up. It's a tremendous miracle. Says the Gemara. And then, only then, the Achakach starts Aval Melech Yoav. And the last person in the Pasuk was Sartzaval Melech Yoav. They went to Yoav, who was the general, to actually take them to war. Amar Rav Yitzchak Barada Amri La Amar Rav Yitzchak Bered Rav Yidi Maikra Urach Vodi Ura Aneva V'Chinor A'ira Shachar. How do we know that he woke up with this harp, with this kinor, whatever a kinor is? How do you know that? It's a very nice answer that we gave before, that David HaMelech knew about Chatzot because he had this kinor, woke him up. Who told you that? You just thought of this answer yourself? It can't be. So the Gemara says, no, there's a pasuk. It says, Urach vodi ura hanevel v'chinor. Let me wake up and not shame you, Hashem, with the nevel v'chinor a'ira shachar. I will wake up before morning. So it's pretty clear in the pasuk that the kinor would assist David HaMelech in waking up. Now the Gemara goes back to the question. The original question was, how could Moshe Rabbeinu not know when Chatzot was? David HaMelech knows when Chatzot. So answer number one was, David HaMelech also didn't know, but he had the harp that helped him. Answer number two, Rabbi Zera Amar Moshe Le'olam Havayada. Really, Moshe also knew exactly when Chatzot is. David Nami Havayada. I think I once heard from Reb Chaim Brisker. I'll tell you a quick thing. There is no Zman of Chatzot, by the way. You ever thought of that? Let's say this is the night. This Gemara is the night. From here till here. So the midpoint, there's no point that's mid, because you can always split that point, right? Whatever you have, even if it's a millisecond, it can always be split into two. So really, there is no moment of Chatzot. So how did Hashem kill everybody at Chatzot? What do you mean? There is no point of Chatzot. There's either the first half of the night or the second half of the night. Which one do you belong to? So I once heard from Reb Chaim Brisker, Reb Chaim Soloveitchik, the Rav of Brisk. He said that what happened was, it was a miracle. Chatzot means that the Mitzrayim were awake. Excuse me, not up and not awake. They were alive the first half of the night. And the entire second half of the night, even the beginning of it, they were not alive. Which means that death didn't take any time. That's what it means, Bachatzot. Amazing thing. The death didn't take time. They were, right? It didn't happen at a moment. That's what it means. So anyways, Moshe knew when this was. So what it means that he knew when Chatzot is, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if someone starts thinking about this, he can get a little confused. What do you mean? What does it mean Moshe Rabbeinu knew when Chatzot is? There is no Zman of Chatzot, if you think about it. It means he knew when it began. He knew when the second half began and the first half is over. That's what it means. David Nami Haviyada, David also knew when Chatzot was. The Kivan, the David Haviyada Kino Lamale. So the Gemara is going to explain. They both knew. So if they both knew, we have a problem with each one.
Fast starts in 3 minutes, by the way.
Oh, the fast start. No.
52.
52.
Oh,
52.
Oh, 52? Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, 56?
Yeah.
55, 56, 53.
Also, so 56.
But I'm like Moshe, I know the time, I'm just not going to tell you.
Okay. So now we have a problem with each one. The Gemara now is saying The Gemara is positing as follows. Rabbi Zera says they both knew. If they both knew, then each one needs an explanation. Why does David HaMelech need a harp? And why does Moshe Rabbeinu tell Paro kachatzot? He should say bachatzot. The Gemara says, "V'kiven de David Avadei Yadal kino lamalei." Why would he need a kinor? The Gemara answers, "Li'it urei mishnatei." To awaken, excuse me, li'it urei mishnatei, to awaken from his sleep. V'kiven de Moshe hava yada lamalei lemeimar. So the Gemara said, why would David HaMelech need a harp? And the Gemara answers, so that he knew exactly when Chatzot was, but the reason why he wanted a harp was that since Rabbi Zera said before that David HaMelech would doze off and learn Torah the first half of the night, so the second half of the night by Chatzot, even though David HaMelech knew when it was, but since he was dozing on and off, he wanted this alarm clock to indicate when Chatzot starts, that he should get up like a lion. Moshe Rabbeinu also knew. So why? Moshe kasav Hashem yit'u itztagninei Faro v'yomru Moshe badayu. Because maybe the stargazers of Paro, the astrologers, would err. They would make a mistake and they would be off by a drop. And they would say, oh, you said exactly at Chatzot, and really it was 2 seconds off. Now really, they made a mistake. But he was worried that they would make the mistake and then accuse him of being a liar. And then it would... As the Tanakh teaches us, teach your tongue to say, I don't know. Because if you don't do that, and you say, I know everything, even when you do know, you always say, I know, you might get caught. Someone might be able to catch you because they'll make a mistake and they'll be sure that their way of reasoning is correct. So if you tell them the other way, they'll call you a liar. But if you humble and you say, I don't really know, but this is what I think, people will accept your words more. Rabbi Ashi says as follows. At Chatzot Laila, between the 13th and the 14th day of Nisan, Moshe Rabbeinu was speaking to Klal Yisrael. We know that the Jews came out on the night of the 15th, they were freed. And they left in the morning of the 15th. But between the 13th and the 14th, okay, Moshe Rabbeinu told Klal Yisrael as follows. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to me, L'machar kachatzot alal ki ha'idna. Tomorrow night, exactly like now. Means Moshe Rabbeinu was standing there 24 hours before the Jews were freed from Egypt, the night of the 14th, not the night of the 15th. And he told the Jews, Hashem told me, Chatzot, like this Chatzot, like right now. Like now. The reason why he said like is not because he was saying about Chatzot. Because it wasn't the Chatzot of the night that they were leaving. He was giving a reference to time. He's saying, like Chatzot, which is right now, tomorrow night at this time, we'll be leaving. Now the Gemara wants to elaborate a little bit about David HaMelech's awakening at Chatzot Laila. The David Shamra Nafshi Ki Hasid Ani. The 86th parak in Tehillim begins with David Shamra Nafshi Ki Hasid Ani. David HaMelech says, Hashem, guard my soul. Please, protect my soul. I don't want to sin. Ki Hasid Ani, because I am pious. Now David HaMelech was very humble, but he was talking between him, it was a private conversation between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I am pious, I do everything for you. So please protect me, protect my soul. So Levi and Rabbi Yitzchak, they expound this pasuk in 2 different ways. What was the great chassidut of David HaMelech. Had amar kach amar David lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One says, this is what David said before Hashem. Ribono shel olam, lo chasid ani, shekol malchei mizrach u'ma'arav yishenim ad 3 sha'ot. Like we mentioned yesterday. All the kings of the east and the west, which means the entire settled, all the settled continents, everything that was established in the world then. The north and the south of the world were not settled at that point in time. It was too cold. So the world was basically set between the east and the west. So he said all the kings of the east and the west sleep until the 3rd hour of the day. Ve'ani chatzot laila akum lehodot lach. But I wake up, even though I'm the king, at chatzot laila to praise you. The idach. And the other Amorah expounds the pasuk as saying as follows: Kach amar David lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ribono shel olam lo chasid ani. Am I not a pious one? Shekol malchei mizrach u'ma'arav yoshvin agodot b'chvodam v'ani yadayim melukhlachot badam uv'shvir uv'shilya. All the kings, what do the kings spend much of their day doing? Sitting in groups and talking, just letting the time go by. Obviously, they had some time that they had to, tend their affairs and all these things. But a lot of the time, they would just, hang out. They would hang out. They would enjoy themselves. What do? I'm a king. But I don't have any time for myself. What do? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I love you so much. I'm such a great chassid. Yadayim melukhlachot badam. My hands are bloody, are red. Why are they red? They're red with the marot of nidot to see if they're tamei or tahor. Uvishvir, which is the sack that the child is formed in, the embryo, the fetus. And I had to check, women who miscarried. I would have to check the shvir to see if the baby had a form of a man or not, of a human. Because if he does, then she's Tame'ah, like we just learned in Nida. And if not, then she's Tahor. Uvishilya. Shilya is also some sort of sack in the mother's. And I would look at all these things. Kedei letaher isha lebala. So in order for me to be able to purify Isha to her husband. The lo od. And not only that, Rabbi, everything I do, I would ask my Rebbe Mefiboshet. And V'omelo, and I would say to him, Mefiboshet, Rabbi, Mefiboshet, my master, Yafeh Danti, have I judged it beautifully? Yafeh Chiyafti, have I obligated properly? Yafeh Zikiti, have I vindicated properly? Yafeh Tiharti, Yafeh Timeti. I asked him, did I purify? Did I say it's tameid correctly? I never trusted myself. I went to my rabbi, and he was the king of Klal Yisrael, the posek of Klal Yisrael. David HaMelech has wearing the crown, but what was he busy with? Halachot, the whole day. There were lines of people coming to him with marot. His hands were bloody the whole day, just Torah the whole day. And even though he was busy with Torah, in the Torah itself, he was very humble, and he always asked his rabbi if he judged it correctly. And that's very difficult for such a great person, especially a king, to lower himself. V'lo boshti. Not only did I do it, I wasn't embarrassed. So, Amar Yeshua b'nei Ravidi Mikra. How do we know this? Because it says v'adabra ve'edotecha neged melachim v'lo ivosh. I would speak about your statutes, your edut, that's the mitzvot, neged melachim, with other kings, which means with talmidei chachamim, which are called kings, which means his rabbi, v'lo ivosh, and I would not be embarrassed. So we have two explanations of what David HaMelech, why David HaMelech called himself a chassid, a pious person. Either because he woke up early at Chatzot to praise Hashem, or the second reasoning was because he wasn't like other kings, which just spent their time leisurely. He would actually be busy with halakha.
the heart.
It's the heart.
This is
Kinor.
done. That's the kino. Okay. Tana lo Mephibosheth Shmo ela Ish Boshet Shmo. His rabbi's name was not Mephibosheth, rather Ish Boshet. That was his name. Okay. Now, really, the question is who this Mephibosheth was. Was he the son of Shaul? Was he the grandson of Shaul, the son, or not the grandson? Yeah, or the grandson of Shaul, the son of Yonatan. It's a machloket mefarshim. But the Gemara asks, "V'lama nikra shmo Mephibosheth? Shahaya mevayesh pnei David b'halacha." Because he'd embarrass David's face in halacha. Now, we just said a minute ago that David HaMelech was not embarrassed. So what it means is he was not embarrassed to ask him. But sometimes, David HaMelech, if he would make a mistake in halacha, he would point it out. And he was able to embarrass David HaMelech in halacha. Okay? Others say that David HaMelech never made a mistake in halacha. But Mephibosheth would argue with him and be machmir many times, more than David. And David HaMelech wouldn't want to argue with his rabbi, and therefore he would just give in, and that was the embarrassment that David HaMelech had to go through with his rabbi, and that's why he was called Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth means from his mouth he caused embarrassment. Lefikach zacha David v'yatza mimenu kilav. Because David HaMelech subjugated himself, lowered himself to his rabbi, and always gave in, and always asked his rabbi, and he would sometimes would be shamed by it, he merited to have a son named Kilav. Okay, what's so great about Kilav? Ve'amar Rabbi Yochanan, lo Kilav Shemo, ela Daniel Shemo. His son's real name was Daniel, not the Daniel from the Sefer Daniel, but that was his name. So why do we call him Kilav? Because he would shame the face of the rabbi of David HaMelech, Mephibosheth, in halacha. Meaning, Kilav. Kil means embarrass for the father. The father. Which the father of halacha was Mephibosheth. But this Daniel was so powerful in his reasoning, he would be able to kill, in English it also sounds good, kill, but kill means to embarrass Av, the father of halacha, Mephibosheth. He was even greater in halacha than his father's rabbi. Ve'alav amar Shlomo b'chokhmato b'ni, and Shlomo Melech in his wisdom said in Mishlei, B'ni, my son, im chacham nilvecha yismach li bigam ani. Ve'omer chacham b'mi v'samach li bi ve'ashiv chofi davar. Meaning, as if David HaMelech was saying this about his son. Shlomo, which was a half-brother to Kilav, was speaking about the way that David HaMelech would speak about his son Kilav. B'ni, my son, im chacham libecha yismach li bigam ani. If you are so wise, my heart will rejoice with you, because you bring back the dignity to my face as you defend me and you beat my own rabbi in halacha. And by the way, it says elsewhere that Kilav was one of the 4 people who had never sinned. Moshe Rabbeinu's father Amram, Yaakov Avinu's son Binyamin, David HaMelech's father Yishai, and David HaMelech's son Kilav. It's interesting that the great people, Yaakov, Moshe, and David, none of them. Their sons, their fathers. That's a different topic, not for now. But Kilav was not just the greatest in halacha, but also we find that he never sinned. Okay, says the Gemara, David Mikra Nafshei Chasid. How can we say that David called himself a pious person before Hashem? Ve'aktiv, it says in the pasuk, Lule he'emanti lirot b'tuv Hashem be'etz chayim. Which means, if I would not have believed that I would be zocheh to see the goodness of Hashem in Olam Haba, then my enemies would have success in deterring me from my services to you and my Yirat Shamayim. David HaMelech is saying a very, very beautiful thing. He's saying, Lulei Hemanti, if my belief in Olam Haba was not strong, I had so many trials to push me away, so many Yetzirah, so many different tests, I surely would have been gone from the service of Hashem. They would have distracted me. The only thing that keeps me focused is Hemanti Lirot B'Tuv Hashem. Because every morning when I wake up, in the afternoon, and every day, I'm thinking about Olam Haba. It's a very important point. People have to think about Olam Haba a lot more. Not just doing mitzvot here because it's a good thing. That's very important as well. But also because I have to get somewhere. I have a destination that I'm trying to reach to. And that keeps you focused. You don't get off the exits on the highway. Okay. So, V'tana Mishmed Rabbi Yossi, Lama Nakud Al Lulei. Why are there little dots on the word Lulei? Lulei means if not for the fact. Those dots come to minimize, to mitigate the meaning of the pasuk. Which means that David HaMelech was not so sure that he was going to make Olam Haba. It's like, if not for my belief in Olam Haba, that I'm going to make it to Olam Haba, ish. Meaning, dot. Meaning, I'm not so sure that I'm going to make it. Amar David lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because David said before Hashem, Ribono Shel Olam, Muvtach ani b'cha she'ata mishalem sachar tov letzadikim la'atid lavo. I know for a fact that you're going to pay those tzadikim. Aval eini yodeh yesh li chelek b'neim im lav. But I don't know if I'm going to have a portion amongst them. So here, David HaMelech is saying, look, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to make it there, but I know that I could make it, and that's keeping me focused. Now, if you're not sure you're going to make it to Olam Haba, that means you're not so sure that you're such a pious person. How does that reconcile with the pasuk we brought before, asks the Gemara, that said, Shamra nafshi, guard my soul. You know why? I deserve it. Ki chasidani. I'm a pious person. Are you pious? Or are you in doubt if you're going to make it to Olam Haba? Answers the Gemara, Shema yigrom hachet, ki Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi. Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi rameh. He was worried. He was a chassid. He knew he was a great pious person. But he was worried that he might have used up all the merits already. Why? Because I might have sinned as well. And if I sinned as well, sinning deserves a lot of Gehenna. You can't enter Olam Haba. So it could be that I used up all my merits to cover over the Averot. Shema yigrom achet. That's what a real chassid is. He was really, really, really nervous about his Averot. Like Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi teaches us by asking a contradiction in the psukim. Ktiv v'hinei anochi imach u'shmaticha b'chol asher telech. HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised Yaakov Avinu, I will be with you and I will guard you wherever you go. Uchtiv, and it says, Vayira Yaakov me'od. When Esav came, Yaakov was very fearful. What's he worried about? HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to you and says, wherever you go for the rest of your life, I'll be there with you and I'll protect you. So why is Yaakov worried? The answer is, Amar Shema Yigrom Hachet. Yaakov Avinu said, it's true. It's true that you promised me, but that was then because I was a tzaddik. By now, who knows? Maybe I used up all those merits because I sinned in the interim. Kidetanya, like we learned in the Braita, Ad Yavor Amcha Hashem, Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita. The pasuk in Az Yashir is describing as Hashem crossed them over, and Hashem will bring them over. Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita, this nation you have acquired. Now, why does it say Ad Yavor twice? So the Gemara says, the explanation is as follows: Ad Yavor Amcha Hashem Zu Bia Rishona. When you cross them over in the days of Yoshua ben Nun as the first time going into Eretz Yisrael, and then it says again Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita Zu Bia Shniya. That's the second coming when they return after 70 years in Bavel. So what does that have to do with what we just spoke about? So the Gemara says as follows: Amru Chachamim, Ru'iyim hayu Yisrael le'esot lahem nes b'nei Ezra. Since the pasuk is being described as one pasuk that describes both entries into Eretz Yisrael, the entry of Yehoshua ben Nun and the entry later on in the days of Achashverosh, Esther, Koresh, Dayavesh, Hasheni, in the days of Nehemiah and Ezra, and they're equated in the same pasuk, it would seem that all the miracles that happened when they entered Eretz Yisrael, we know that the Yarden split, and that's why we mention it in Az Yashir. When they were praising Hashem for splitting the sea, they also saw a nevuah that the future we're going to enter Eretz Yisrael in the same fashion. And they also mentioned the second entering. That sounds like there's going to be great miracles there too. And the Chazal say, actually, Yisrael were ra'ui, that they were fitting, that a nace, that a miracle should be performed, b'mei Ezra, k'derech shenas alehem b'mei Yehoshua ben Nun, el shagam hachet. But the chet caused them to enter in a very natural fashion. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's original plan was to bring them in by force to Eretz Yisrael with great miracles. The second Beit HaMikdash. But they lost it. Even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Ad Ya'avor Amzu Kanita, and he equated it with the first time that they entered Eretz Yisrael, but then they lost it because of the chet. So you see this concept. Okay, Abotai, we're back home to the Mishnah now. Let us begin the Gemara. You remember that there are three shitot of when Kriyat Shema of the night ends. First shita was Rabbi Eliezer Atzof HaShmura HaRishona. We said yesterday means first third of the night. Second shita is the Chachamim, they say midnight. And Rabbi Gamliel said morning, Adalot HaShach. So the Gemara says, V'chachamim omrim ad chatzot. Chachamim keman tzvilu. Who are the Chachamim going like? Ik Rabbi Eliezer tzvilu. If the Chachamim are going like Rabbi Eliezer, Lemukir Rabbi Eliezer. Which means, if they agree that the time of B'shachbecha really means the time that people go to sleep, the process of going to sleep. And that is what Rabbi Eliezer learned. Rabbi Eliezer said, when do people go to sleep? From Tzeitek HaChavim until, or yesterday we said maybe he doesn't agree with Tzeitek HaChavim because Rabbi Eliezer, if you remember, said, Misha shekidesh hayom be'erev Shabbatot, which means shkiyah. Okay, let's not talk about the beginning time. But from whatever the beginning time is, either Tzeitek HaChavim or shkiyah, until the first third of the night. And the Chachamim say, look, we agree with you that that is the translation of the word b'shachbecha, the process of going to sleep. But it doesn't last 1/3 of the night. Some people, you have to take into account that there are people that go to sleep later. And those people go to sleep all the way up to Hatzot. If they go to sleep all the way till Hatzot, so the Zman is till Chatzot. So then Leimru Rabbi Eliezer. Says the Gemara, that doesn't really make sense. Because if they really agree with B'shach B'chav, meaning the process that you go to sleep, it would be very queer and interesting and strange for them to say that the Zman should really end at Chatzot. Rabbi Eliezer is correct in his assessment that most people, the process of going to sleep is from the beginning of the night until a third of the night and not till Chatzot. And if they are of the opinion that the word b'shachbecha does not mean what? the process of going to sleep, but rather while people sleep, and that lasts until Alot HaShachar, which is Rabbi Gamliel's opinion. So let them agree with Rabbi Gamliel and say until Alot HaShachar. This notion that they say, this time, Chatzot, doesn't really work with any way of translating the Pasuk. Going to sleep doesn't happen until Chatzot. It's too late. Sleeping, the actual sleeping, lasts much longer until Alot HaShachar. So, Gemara doesn't understand the reasoning of the Chachamim. The Olam Rabbi Gamliel through answers the Gemara, really they are of the opinion like Rabbi Gamliel. The had the ka'amri at chatzot kedei lahachik et adam min ha'avera. As the Mishnah really told us this answer. Rabbi Gamliel himself said it, if you remember. The truth is that the zman, the time for saying Kriyat Shema is like Rabbi Gamliel, according to the Chachamim. B'shach b'cha means as long as people are sleeping, which lasts until the morning. However, in order to distance people from committing sins, they said Chatzot. Kedetanya, as we learned in a Braita, beautiful Braita, Chachamim, remember a Braita is like a Mishnah, Tanaic teaching, the sages of the time and the era of the Mishnah, but it was not included in the Mishnayot. Says the Braita, Chachamim asu siyag l'divreihem. The Chachamim erected a fence for their words. Like the Pasuk says, V'shamru et mishmati. That is the job, the main function of the Chachamim, is to always erect fences to protect the laws of Hashem in the Torah. And they said, so that a person shouldn't come back from the sadeh. The sadeh was hard, the workforce. At night, and he'd say, let me go home and let me eat a little bit. Take a small drink, small nap, and then I will read Kriyat Shema, and then I will pray. And then the sleep gets hold of him. He's done for the night. He wakes up, next time he wakes up, it's morning. So it's a problem. So rather, a person comes home, what we really want from the man, he comes home and he walks into the Beit HaKnesset. Im ragil likrot koreh. If he can read Torah, let him read. Im ragil lishanot. And if he knows Mishnayot, Shoneh, let him learn Mishnayot. V'koreh Kriyat Shema, and let him read Kriyat Shema, u'mitpalel, and pray Shemona Esrei. Ve'ochel pito, u'mivarech. And then let him go eat his pito, u'mivarech. V'chol ha'over al divrei chachamim chayav mita. And whoever transgresses the word of the chachamim, chayav mita. Which means as follows. If I tell you that you have the whole night to say Kriyat Shema, you'll go home first. If I tell you only have to Chatzot, and you know that if you take a small little nap, you might wake up after Chatzot, what will you do? You'll make sure to go to the Beit HaKnesset first and read Kriyat Shema and then pray Shemona Esrei. And that way they were safeguarding the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. Very simple. But of course, the real Zman Midoraita is till the morning. Okay. And the end of the Braita is very powerful and says, whoever transgresses the words of the Chachamim, chayav mita. So the Gemara asks now on the Braita, Ma yishna b'chol duchta delo ketani chayav mita. Why is it that every time the Gemara mentions an act of the Chachamim, it says, just says what you have to do, but it doesn't say chayav mita. But here, it says, by the way, if you don't listen to the Chachamim and you try to say Kriyat Shema after Chatzot, Chas v'sholom chayav mita. If a person doesn't go try to say Kriyat Shema, he goes home and he relaxes, chayav mita. It's a very powerful thing. So the Gemara answers, Shena. One reasoning is as follows. Really, the truth is, if a person transgresses any dirabanan, Chas v'sholom, he's chayav mita. And that's really Gemara in Eruvin. Gemara says so. But here it had to spell it out. Why? Because ones shina. Because people fall asleep, and sleep is very enticing. And once you fall asleep, there's no way to get out of it, like the Breita said. And therefore, we have to warn him with dire, results. If he doesn't listen to the Chachamim, we're letting you know chayav mitah. So don't play around with this. Even though you're driving home and you're very, very tired, you just want to go into bed. Once it's Seitan Kochavim, Rabotai, you have to be careful not to go to sleep. Now, to eat dinner could be if you have a zman. If you have a zman that you usually go to pray Arvit, it's okay. But if you fall asleep, who's going to wake you up for Arvit? You have to have a shomer. It's not simple to go to sleep after Tzeitan Kochavim. And therefore, they warned him with chayav mitah. The other answer is since we'll see that there's a machloket later on, if Arvit is a chova or a shut, so therefore the Breita ended off as follows. This is not just a suggestion to say Kriyat Shema and to pray Shemona Esrei. It's not a suggestion, like some opinions hold, that it's a reshut. Rather, it's a real halacha. It's a din midirabanan. And all din, how do you say that? How do you say that in a very strong way? You say it's chayav mitah. Because all din midirabanan are chayav mitah. So we're warning you, Shemona Esrei is not optional. Okay? There's a real chiyuv. Okay. So now the Gemara says like this. Amar Mar. Now the Gemara wants to dissect the Breita a little bit. What did we say in the Breita, Rabotai? We said that Korei Kriyat Shema Umitpalel. What's the sequence? The sequence is you say Kriyat Shema, and then you begin to pray Shemona Esrei. As the Gemara Amar Mar Korei Kriyat Shema Umitpalel. Misayeh ala Rabbi Yochanan da Amar Rabbi Yochanan ezeu ben olam haba. Ze asomech gula l'tfilah shel Arvit. This supports Rabbi Yochanan, because Rabbi Yochanan taught us who is a ben olam haba? Someone who is somech. Somech means the right word in English would be? No, that's why I didn't want to say. Somech many times means to rely. But it also means when you support something on something else. Join, thank you. When you join Geula v'Tfilah shel Arvit, you join the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael with the Tfilah of Arvit. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Omer, Tfilot be'emtza tiknu. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says, no, the Tfilot were actually made in between the two Kriyat Shemas. So what is going on here? We have a machloket. Rabbi Yochanan says as follows. Every night, before you say Shemona Esrei, make sure you say Baruch Atah Hashem Ga'al Yisrael. Which means, you say Kriyat Shema, then you say the brachot of Kriyat Shema, which end with Ga'al Yisrael, and then you begin Shemona Esrei. Now, you're all thinking, what happened to Hashkivenu? So we'll see what happened to Hashkivenu in just a minute or two. But after Ga'al Yisrael comes Shemona Esrei. Rabbi Yochanan says, that's going to bring you to Olam Haba. Why? So Rashi explains, he brings down the Yerushalmi. There are many pshatim here. Rashi says, because when a person speaks about the Gula of Mitzrayim, what he's doing is as follows. He's knocking on the door of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of the king. He's speaking about his days when he was suffering in Mitzrayim, and how HaKadosh Baruch Hu came, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved him, and he's asking Hashem, save me, and he's knocking on the door. So Hashem says, you're praising me with all these beautiful shirot v'tishbachot. We say in Ezrat Avoteinu Atul Me'olam, Baruch Atah Hashem Gal Yisrael. The whole bracha is full of praises of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, who's calling me? Who's praising me so beautifully? So he says, who's there? What can I do for you, my son? That's the moment to start Shemona Esrei and to start asking. Even though the beginning of Shemona Esrei is not asking bakashot, but it's an introduction. It's the way you greet the king and you praise him with 3 brachot, and then you begin to ask. the middle brachot. What happens if the king hears beautiful praises? He opens the door, and you're not there. Closes the door. You have to get HaKadosh Baruch Hu at a time that you praise Him. Yancha Hashem biyom tzara. Hashem answers on the day of tzara when you praise Him. He comes, he opens the door. So you say, Baruch Atah Hashem Ga'al Yisrael. Hashem wants to give you everything. And then you start Shemona Esrei. Right there. That's one shot. So Rabbi Yochanan says, it's perfect. Say Kriyat Shema first. Then say the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael, and then begin your Shemona Esrei. Rabbi Yeshua Levi says, not so fast. Tfilot be'emtza tiknu. The tfilot of Shemona Esrei were actually, the takana of the Chachamim was that you should say the Shemona Esrei in between the two Kriyat Shmas. Kriyat Shema of the morning should come first, then the Shemona Esrei of the morning, the Shemona Esrei of the night, and then Kriyat Shema. Now, if you say Kriyat Shema with its brachot, the brachot of Kriyat Shema include Ga'al Yisrael after Shemona Esrei, then you won't be somech Geula the Tfilah. You won't join Geula to Tfilah. So, the teaching that we said in the Braita, Koreh Kriyat Shema u'mitpalel, where there it says you say Kriyat Shema before it says you pray, supports Rabbi Yochanan. So the Gemara says, "B'maika miftili." Why does what are they arguing about? Why do they argue? Ibayte mekravi, ibayte masvara. Ibayte masvara. What does that mean? Some say that the machloket is machloket which is based on a pasuk, and some say it's a logical machloket. Ibayte masvara. If you want to say it's logical, the answer is as follows: The Rabbi Yochanan savar geula me'urta namihava. The explanation would be that Rabbi Yochanan feels that the Jews were freed at night. When did Paro say, you're free? At nighttime. However, the highest form of freedom, of redemption, only took place in the morning when they actually left the borders of Egypt. And therefore, when we speak about Mitzrayim, when we speak about the exodus of Egypt, says Rabbi Yochanan, we want to speak about the Gula of the redemption of the morning before Shemona Esrei, but not only that, we also want to speak about the redemption at nighttime before we start Shemona Esrei, because nighttime is apropos to speak about the redemption. Because at night, Parot said, you're free. And therefore, every night when we speak about the praises of HaKadosh Baruch Hu taking us out of Mitzrayim, we have to mention the Geula, Ga'al Yisrael, before Shemona Esrei. Because at nighttime was the time that Hashem took us out. But Rabbi Moshe Medresh savar kivin de lo have ela mitzvah lo have geula ma'aliyata. We don't have to be so careful at night to make sure that the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael is said right before Shemona Esrei. Because at nighttime anyways is not really match up with our freedom, with our redemption from Egypt. Because the real freedom happened in the morning. That's when we really were freed. And others say that the reason why they argue is from the following pasuk. Ushneim mikra echadashu. Dichtiv b'shachbecha uvkumecha. Rabbi Yochanan savar makish chiva lekima. Since the words b'shachbecha, when you go to sleep, uvkumecha, and when you wake up, are said together, they're juxtaposed, there's a hekesh. Rabbi Yochanan says, ma kima kriyat shema v'achach tefillah. Just like in the morning, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, you're in agreement with me that in the morning we have to be somech geula l'tfilah. We have to say Shemona Esrei. We have to join it with geula. Af shchiva nami kriyat shema v'achach tefillah. So too, when you go to sleep at night, make sure that you do it in the same manner. First you speak about the Geulah and with Kriyat Shema, and then you begin Shemona Esrei. But Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Savar Makish Shchiva L'Kima. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says, I'll do the same, but I'll do the opposite. I will compare Shchiva to Kima, lying down to waking up. Ma Kima Kriyat Shema Samuch L'Mitato. Just like in the morning, the first thing you do after you come out of bed is begin to pray what? Shemona Esrei or Kriyat Shema? Kriyat Shema. Av Shchiva Nami Kriyat Shema Samuch L'Mitato. So too at night, the last thing you want to do before you go to sleep is say Kriyat Shema. Meaning, when a person wakes up and he becomes cognizant and aware that he has to serve Hashem, Kriyat Shema. When you go to sleep, before you retire, accept the yoke of heaven again. He'd rather have the day starting and ending with Kriyat Shema, although at night you won't be somech Geulah L'Tfilah. So B'ezrat Hashem tomorrow we will see that the Gemara starts over the question on one of the Mandan.